Welcome to Business Talk, our weekly University of Rio Grande, Ohio State University South Center's podcast show. We are here at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Not only are we doing live internet radio through Blog Talk Radio, but we're also live on the Jackson Educational Access channel and Channel 17 University of Rio Grande TV channel. Our podcasts are archived and placed on YouTube for viewing and listening again. Our mission is simple: to promote the University of Rio Grande and its diverse educational programs, promote the Ohio State University South Centers and its many business technology programs, and finally promote Southern Ohio, a great place to live, learn, and enjoy life to the fullest. Our co-hosts are Jason Winters, who this week is on special assignment in Afghanistan, who is the director of the Center for Small Business Entrepreneurship, and Mike Thompson, Instructional Design and Media Services Director, both with the University of Rio Grande. We also have Patrick Dengel, Business Development Specialist, and Kimberly Roush, Program Assistant, both with the Ohio State University of South Centers. And I'm Nathan Walzer, MBA student and Assistant Men's Soccer Coach at the university. This week, we're featuring Lorie Neal, IOM Executive Director with the Gallia County Chamber of Commerce. Lorie will discuss what is the Chamber of Commerce, how we play a role in the business community, memberships in the Chamber, changes at the Gallia County Chamber of Commerce, and upcoming events. Hi, Lorie.
Hi, Nate.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been at the Chamber of Commerce for almost 12 years. Before that, I actually worked here at the University of Rio Grande, and I was a student prior to that. So
you've been around here for a little bit?
I have been around here for a little bit.
How long did you work at the university for?
2 years.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I worked in the admissions office, and when Mark Abel was over that program or over that office, and he was my boss.
So, what was the first part of your title?
For
I believe it was IOM.
IOM.
Yeah, what's that?
That stands for Institute for Organization Management, and what I did was I went through a 4-year program through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and for a week each year I would go to Tucson and take classes with other chamber execs and staff, from all over the United States. And then at the end of that 4 years, you ended up getting, you actually graduated and got a certificate, and that earned you the title IOM after your name. So it's kind of like a PhD for nonprofits.
Yeah, what did you get out of that? What kind of stuff did they talk about?
Well, yeah, the biggest thing I got out of it was the networking. Really, I mean, they did really have some great professors that came in and they taught you, just a lot of different things. Like we had a lawyer from Washington, D.C. come in, and he was specific to nonprofits. So he was talking all about, things you can and can't do that you may not know about, as being a nonprofit organization. And so that was interesting. And then they just did a lot of different things like that. But then being able to be in a class with the same group of people each year, and the networking with everybody else and the staff there through the U.S. Chamber, that was the best part. We still keep in contact. Anytime somebody's got a question about something, chamber related, we just shoot each other out an email or something and put it out there and get,
Do you think that
feedback.
Most people have the same kind of problems?
Yeah, I do. The bigger chambers fluctuate just a little bit, from the smaller chambers like we are, but overall, I think everybody kind of sees the same pattern.
So what is a Chamber of Commerce?
What we are is a business organization. We're a nonprofit, like I said. It's a 501c6 private business organization. You sell memberships to individuals and to other nonprofits, but primarily businesses are our target entity. And what we do is we try to promote their business, give them opportunities to network, and be able to put them in situations where they can sell their services or products, whatever the case may be, and provide them with maybe money saving opportunities and things like that. We also do some advocacy. We work with closely with legislators, our local and federal, and
What kind of issue do you have to work with a legislator about?
Well, it just depends if what type of legislation might be going through. If there was something that would detrimentally affect the small business community.
Would it be like EPA things, or?
It could be, I think, but we haven't gotten into anything like that.
Mhm.
But just what was the recent one? The Senate Bill 5. We didn't do anything with that, but it was obviously a big issue, and the reason we didn't do anything with that is because, and not asked to either. Actually, someone wrote a letter and asked us to remain neutral, which
Necessarily a political organization.
no, we're not.
Right.
And we're, we what we want to do is basically push the information out to the members and then take feedback also, because we like to keep the lines of communication open between the chamber and our state rep and our senator for our district and the governor's office. You can't really talk to the governor usually, every now and then you get lucky.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it's basically it's communication and education.
Okay, so you provide education to chamber members.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things could you gain out of that, being a chamber member?
Well, recently we did a couple programs that are not our typical programs. We did a human resource event where we did that in partnership with the Ohio Chamber, and what they did was they brought in a speaker, and they pretty much paid for practically the whole entire event, which was nice because we have a very small budget, and they provided the speaker. They chose the topic, and then what we did was we invited our members to attend and then learn a little bit more about the subject at hand. And then we also partnered with several entities recently on a business resource day, and that whole thing stemmed from here actually at the University of Rio Grande. Your SIFE team received a scholarship. Can't remember how much money, but anyway, they received a scholarship through the U.S. Chamber, but a stipulation was they had to work on a project with their local chamber. So we developed with them and the OSU South Centers a survey, and then we sent that survey out to all of our members and to select non-members, and we had, so it was a pretty good response. And based on the answers that we received from the surveys, we developed a business resource day, and we invited all of our local banks, the South Centers, Job and Family Services. There were just several different entities like that, and then I had a speaker come in from North Carolina to speak on trends and in the business climate per se, and how they're affected. And I think sometimes our smaller businesses, especially in the rural area, they kind of live in the now, and they don't really think about 5 years from now or 10 years from now, and what changes are going to happen. Changes are happening so fast now anyway, especially with technology,
Mm-hmm.
that if you don't, if you're not prepared for that, it could really hurt your business.
Sort of like we had a previous show on the farmers market, and now they're like taking debit cards through cell phones.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Lorie, you've been very active in the community here in Gallia County, Southern Ohio. Tell us a little bit about the people. What kind of people do you see serving Gallia County?
Well, they're good people. Obviously, they're serving Gallia County, but I'm not really sure what you're wanting me to say with the question. But I mean, we have a lot of good, hardworking people in Gallia County. They're dedicated to the area. They're very proud of our history. Nate and I were talking earlier about the history. There's a diverse history in Gallia County, where Gallipolis was founded by the French, but then you have a large Welsh abundance out here in the Rio Grande area.
Mm-hmm.
So
Scots Irish, more Cheshire area.
Yeah, it's very diverse, but everybody's very proud of their history here, and it really shows. They take
there's
pride.
There's also the other part with like the Underground Railroad.
Right.
African American.
The longest standing emancipation celebration in the U.S.
Mm-hmm, I think so.
So you answered that very well.
Oh, thanks.
It's part of, I think, the Appalachian work ethic. They're very independent. I can do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
A little skeptical of the big city boys Yeah, we can handle this on our own. You just keep your nose out.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of a independent work ethic that really makes Gallia County and the different communities very strong. And let's see, you know, if we look at some of the businesses, major businesses that have been involved with Gallia County, like Bob Evans. Bob Evans has been a very good supporter, and they own the Bob Evans Foods restaurants and things of that nature. They've been very strong and a supporter. What are some of the other business entities that have continued to make the community strong?
Well, obviously, Holzer Clinic and Holzer Medical Center, which now have merged, and they are the Holzer Health System. They're contributing to a variety of things constantly. AEP Gavin Plant, they do a lot of things that people don't even know about in conjunction with helping, you know, kids and stuff.
We've talked about Bob Evans, and Bob Evans have Ohio Valley Bank, which is pretty popular around this area as well.
Yep, Ohio Valley Bank is one of them. Trying to think, our schools are you know, big contributors too when it comes to getting involved in things. Maybe not financially, of course, but Wiseman Insurance Agency, the Wisemans, their whole family, I mean, down the line, you know, right down to Jimmy, who is currently my past president, and he's only like 30 maybe years old, which is the youngest president our chamber's had, which is pretty neat. They have a community spirit and a you know, Gallia County diehard type attitude. You know, it's shop Gallia County, live in Gallia County.
Gallia County for life.
Yep.
We've talked a lot about the companies that we have in our area and everything, but how do you actually become a member in the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's really easy. We have an application that you fill out. We just need a little bit of information.
Does everybody get granted a member in the chamber, or is there a certain selection process? It's pretty limited.
You know, there's not a selection process. You know, I can't think of anybody that there would be that we would not let in the chamber. You know, a business is a business, and
you guys are just advocating for them as much as possible.
Right.
And you mentioned it costs something. How do you figure the cost for membership?
Well,
you know, I'm sure like Ohio Valley Bank would probably pay something different than a local photographer or something.
Right. We have different categories, and chambers do this a little bit differently depending on where you're at. They have a couple different structures, but the way ours is structured, we're structured with a due structure of certain categories. Like banks would have their own category, and they just pay X number of dollars. And then
could the fees change every year, or is it just one annual fee and that's that, or is it
they haven't changed past couple years. However, we had been implementing like a 3% increase just for cost of living type thing, but because the economy, you know, the past couple years we haven't done that. We've just kept it the same. But then we have different categories. Like if you're a small business, for example, and you have 1 to 10 employees, then you would be in this category, and it might be like $198 for the year. And then if you're, you know, a wholesale, you know, like a Walmart or something, you know, big with lots of employees, you know, you might be paying up to like $900 for your membership a year. And the same with like Holzer and AEP, who have a lot of
so bigger companies are obviously going to pay more.
Right.
Is that the total of your funding, or is there other funding that supports
that? Is a large part of our River Recreation Festival. And
what is that? When is it?
It's coming up soon. It's over the July 4th holiday.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday early. We put on this 4, sometimes 5-day festival, and it's a lot of work, takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of time, and we start on it early. And what we do is, unfortunately, kind of it goes around the 4th of July, which, you know, moves every year to a different day.
So
and
it's
this
either
year,
a little bit after and a little bit before.
Yes, and this year's the worst.
It's on a Wednesday.
It is. It's the worst possible case scenario that you could come up with.
And this is 2012.
Yeah. And so we're going July 3rd. We're going to start the evening of the 3rd at 5 o'clock, and we're going to run through Saturday night the 7th. End with our fireworks on the 7th. And the Independence Day Parade will be on the 4th.
Aren't the fireworks supposed to be on the 4th?
Well, you see, that's the problem. Typically, we try to have that happen, but we are going to have the parade on the 4th, so.
But how do you keep people in town that want, you know, you want
fireworks
to have them
and the parade,
participate in the hurrah? So, you know, it's got to be sometime.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to please everybody. I know we get a lot of calls and questions about why we're having the parade, you know, like on Wednesday evening, aside from it being the 4th, but they're concerned about church service. But we've worked through every scenario possible, and this was just the best one that we could come up with to accommodate as many as possible.
Right.
And then a lot of the churches have been very kind and have worked with us on it and have moved their Bible study up to like 5 o'clock, and are even doing I don't know what they're called, maybe a youth activity, and by coming to the parade at 7. So, and I thought that was a fabulous answer.
Is it just parade and fireworks? What goes on at the River City Festival?
Gosh, no, we have a lot of stuff.
I've never been to it personally before, so
Yeah, we have an amusement company that comes in, so we have amusement rides every day. On the 3rd, we're going to start out with our Queen's pageant, our Junior Miss pageant, and they do a royalty parade, and then we'll have some entertainment afterwards. All day on the 4th, starting early that morning, we start with baby contests, a Little Miss and
like
Mr.
races?
Firecracker. No, not necessarily races. Although they have had those before in the past called Baby Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah.
baby potato sack races.
Yeah, these are just
We
cute
do have
ladies.
that on Kids Day. So, see, you guys are coming up with things we've had or do have. But we'll do that, and then we'll have the parade. We have a live auction afterwards where there's always some really nice items auctioned off. We'll have some entertainment. We're not going to start things until 5 p.m. each of those days, but we have really good entertainment coming in. On Thursday, we've got Matt King and Morgan Miles coming in. And Morgan is, you know, she could possibly be the next Miranda Lambert.
I've seen these people live, and they are very good musicians. Maybe you haven't heard of them, but they are very good.
The small names, it's awesome to see before their names get big.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
It is.
And she is quite the entertainer.
And then Friday we have a band. They're basically a cover band, but I think I've heard they're really good, and I've heard some of their music. But it's called Chrome, and they're out of Cincinnati, so they're not quite as far away. But and then Saturday starts our. We have Gospel Day. We have Kids Day. Kids Day's
the best.
It is the best because this lady works really hard on it. She goes out and she gets sponsorship money, and then she also gets people to donate toys and things. And it's not like, you know, just your 99-cent Hot Wheels car.
Yeah, they're really
it's
cool
pools
things.
and scooters and skateboards and iPods and iPads and Xboxes and
so how old do you have
like
to be
that.
to be a kid?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and all day long they put their, you know, fill out a little entry form and put it in the appropriate age group box, and she draws like one every hour all day long during Kids Day.
That's awesome.
Okay.
It is
exciting.
awesome.
So we have the River Recreation Festival that you guys help put on. What other kind of activities do you help sponsor?
Well, as most chambers do, we have a golf tournament annually, and that's held in the fall in September.
I actually heard Pat's won that a few times.
In my own mind.
Yeah.
Jason,
And then you woke up.
however, has not. I have a good photo of him where he lost his ball in the weeds.
But did you know, what you didn't know was he found 4 others.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Well,
So he said it was a very profitable.
It was like treasure hunting.
Yes.
But yeah, and we also do a French City Chili Fest in October. That one we kind of inherited from the Gal Police Retail Merchants Association that no longer exists, but we didn't want to see that die, so we kind of took it under our wing too. And it's not a huge fundraiser for us, but it's a lot of fun.
So you have a chili cook-off in Gallipolis. Why is it called French City?
Well, because Gal Police is known as the City of the Gauls.
That's what
French.
Gal Police is translated to.
Yep.
Police is a city. Gallia is Gaul, which France was known way back for being Gaul.
Oh, all right. So
And
it's
that's-
founded by
Gaul.
French.
Yes.
Right.
And our fleur-de-lis and bandstand are the 2 biggest icons for the city.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you have a city park downtown. I think that's one of the nicest parks that I've seen in the middle, except for New York City. I think New York City is just a tad bigger than the park you have
Yeah,
down.
it might be a tad busier too. But yes, we do. We have a beautiful, beautiful city park. Bandstand in the center. There's lots of trees, grass, benches to sit on. Overlooks the river. It's just an absolute beautiful setting.
And When Bob is the executive director of the Gallia County Convention and Visitors Bureau, he was telling that there's only about 8 band members that can fit up in that bandstand. Unless they haven't eaten for a couple of days, then you can get 10 or 12.
Oh my goodness. Well, Bob would know.
Now, I think there are some other possible functions that just regular people can take advantage of a Chamber of Commerce, right? Mm-hmm. Like relocation. Can you hook people up with contacts or?
Yeah, like relocation packets.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get frequent phone calls on those where we'll send out, they may want phone books, they may want a list of apartments. This is our latest community profile and chamber member directory. And it lists a lot of history about the area, and of course our chamber members are listed, and it's also a nice advertising venue for businesses. But we'll send all that information out. We got a packet like thick that we send people, and we're trying to go more electronically, but it's a tough change for some people.
One of the things in your chamber that you do have is a really good group of board members. Mm-hmm. And I know that everyone appears to be dedicated to making sure its members' outside resources are available. You have Kyla, who is the president.
Yes.
Kyla also works where?
At Ohio Valley Bank.
Oh, yeah. It's right here.
Yes.
But Kyla, prior to that, was Johnny Wiseman.
Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy Wiseman from Wiseman Agency.
See what happens when you leave the presidency.
Right.
You start.
And then prior to that, it was Ray McInnes from Bob Evans Farms.
And they're all dynamic. How do you get all these dynamic individuals to be on the board and foster the growth of Gallia County?
Pat, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier with, how they're dedicated to the area, and they, business in the small towns, and they believe in Gallia County where they live, and they want to see it thrive.
Is there something that you or somebody in the county does to foster growth of industry? I know we have a industrial park.
Mm-hmm. Right. The Community Improvement Corporation, which we work closely with them too on certain projects, they own the industrial park, and then they work with the county Economic Development Office, which is Melissa Clark, and she's probably been on your program before. She helps work with them, and to basically market the industrial park. And we've actually had a little growth in it lately. Mm-hmm. Track Work has moved out there, and then not only after they built one building, they are just now getting ready to finish up another building in the industrial park. And then, of course, Silverbridge Coffee has moved out there.
And they're going to have their grand opening June the 2nd.
June 3rd.
No, is that like a retail where you can go in, or is that just a?
It is not a retail.
Like
do not go in.
Okay.
It's where Lorraine works diligently to make her nice, fine coffee.
Okay.
And she does not have a retail location. She does distribute her coffee throughout the state of Ohio, and I'm sure into West Virginia as well. But a lot of like our local Foodland sells her coffee, and you can find it in Kroger's in different areas.
You might have said it already, but what's it called again?
Silverbridge Coffee.
Silverbridge.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little history about that too.
Yeah, when she first started that up, a lot of people thought she was literally located in the Silverbridge Plaza, and they could go there and buy a cup of coffee. Unfortunately, they never could find it.
Yeah.
But she's done extremely well, and I know that come to the grand opening, etc., will be amazed at what she has done. She and her husband Phil have built a very good community business.
Yes, they have. Very good. And then, and speaking of grand openings, we've also helped celebrate some grand openings and just open houses lately too, and ribbon cuttings and new businesses. We have a new business in the downtown, S&S Legal Services. The Winston through in Delhi has joined the chamber, and we're getting ready to work with them on a open house and ribbon cutting at the end of June. So there's a lot of activity.
What's S&S do?
They have you ever heard of Legal Shield? What they do is they basically sell Legal Shield, And what that is you pay a monthly fee, kind of like AAA in a way, except you pay an annual fee with them in case your car is ever, you lock your keys in, or you get a flat, or you run out of gas, whatever the case is. Legal Shield is kind of the same concept, except you don't pay a year in advance. You pay monthly as you go, so you can cancel it at any point in time you want. But basically what that does is it puts a lawyer on retainer for you. So
as a business or as a person?
As a person, okay, I wasn't sure if it was for a business, but yeah, a business would cost a little bit more, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so if if something should happen, and even if you're out of town, or out of state, you just call the number and they get the closest, attorney available to help you out.
Okay.
We've also had, you've been very actively involved. As a matter of fact, she was one of your board members, Tammy Bramham.
Mm-hmm.
Who, boy, we've seen phenomenal growth with the
towing business.
Yes.
Her truck center, center that she and her son mainly runs that one. But yeah, they've she's phenomenal. She's a past president too, second female president in the chamber ever for Gallia County, and a past she was a past board member, but I've gotten her back on again. She couldn't say no to me.
Good.
She's a glutton.
Yeah.
She really is. She I don't know how she does it. She is so busy. I really don't know how she runs everything she does. But between her towing business and the truck business, she's also very active in a towing association for Ohio. She's the secretary of that. So, and plus she's on the CIC board, and she's on the chamber board again. So she's very busy.
Another woman-owned business of Sheridan Clegg.
Oh, yes.
Clegg's Waste Disposal. You have a lot of businesses that are not just typical. You have a lot of diversity at Gallia County.
Right.
And both male, female kinds of professional services, businesses, manufacturing. So you really are in the hub of... You're in the middle of the world, right?
Right. There's a lot of diversity, and Sheridan and her husband have grown their business, and they're working on it. They're still a small business, but they're very dedicated and believe in the services they offer, and they do it well.
We only have a couple minutes.
We've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. What have we missed, Lorie, and what do you wish we would have asked you?
The one thing I want to maybe just talk about is our Business of the Month program, just real quick.
Sure.
Hit that. It's a program we offer all of our members. You don't have to, pay for it or anything. It's included in your membership. And we just draw your name basically out of a hat, lottery style, and everybody's assigned a number. And we pull the number out, and we look on our spreadsheet, see who it is, and that person gets to be the Business of the Month. This month, it's Enterprise Cars, right? And what they get is a traveling sign that says they're the Chamber of Business of the Month to display for the month. It's a big sign. And then they get some free advertising thanks to our local, radio station, Sunny 93. And then we have Jackson Times Journal that donates some advertising for them as well for this project. And we give them a certificate, and they're listed. And every original email that I send out has their name at the bottom. Our Business of the Month is so-and-so for the month. So... it's a really good program, I think.
How can they get in touch with you?
Right.
They can give us a call at the Chamber of Commerce. Our number is 740-446-0596, or they can send me an email, lneal@galliacounty.org.
Now that's LNEAL
at Gallia, GALLIACOUNTY.org.
And the phone number is 740-446-0596. 0596. Lorie, it's been a pleasure having you on our podcast radio show. Hope that you come back.
Well, thank you, Pat. It's been a pleasure.
Next week, we're going to have somebody important from the University of Rio Grande. Hope that you will listen in. I'm Patrick.
I'm Mike.
I'm Nate. And this is Lorie.
And I'm Lorie.
Thanks for watching.
Sorry, I wasn't part.